Testifying before policymakers is a critical advocacy skill that you can expect to use at some point in your career. Testifying can happen in all three branches of government: the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. It also takes place at all levels of government, from the federal and state levels all the way down to smaller localities, such as counties, cities, and even school boards. We will focus on engaging with the legislative branch, but these strategies can be adapted for a wide range of policymakers. This type of testimony is different from testifying in a court of law, and also different from providing comments to a regulatory agency. Testimony provided during a legislative hearing can have a significant impact on the decision-making process. The hearing may not be the deciding factor, but it plays an important role in framing an issue. It may be a legislator's first time hearing your perspective, so your testimony can be key in shaping their understanding of the issue. Most decision makers are not examining issues through a public health lens, so you have the opportunity to provide a unique, evidence-based perspective. Your testimony can establish you as objective, credible, and trustworthy, which can position you as a valuable expert for the future. Think of this as an opportunity to foster strong relationships with decision makers and their staff, people who can significantly impact your policy issue. Communicating with a policymaker requires a different skill set than communicating with the public. When preparing testimony, it may be helpful to consider the following questions. Who is my audience, and what is their role in the decision-making process? What is their relationship to the issue? Who and what are they being influenced by? What pressures are they under, and what other priorities are they balancing? What is the political context, and how might it shape the issue? How do I develop trust with my audience? Here are our best tips for providing effective and memorable testimony. 1. Always have an ask. What action do you want your audience to take? As a public health champion, be prepared with solutions to the issues you're presenting. Always know what you want them to do. You may not get another opportunity to meet with these decision makers, so use it for more than simply listing facts and data. 2. Know your audience. You need to have a deep understanding of the decision makers you're trying to reach. What has shaped their beliefs, opinions, and actions? Research their political track record and voting history. Also, consider other external factors that may influence their behavior, such as current events, the political climate, or pressure from constituents. And most of all, know who on the committee is persuadable and talk directly to them whenever possible. 3. Know your message. Stay focused on a few key points. Curate your message. Don't bury it in too much data. The facts and figures included in your testimony should be strategic, resonate with your audience, and be consistent with your message. 4. Be concise. If they ask you a question, try to limit your answer to just a few sentences. Avoid using public health jargon. Take your time, be deliberate, and stay focused on your key points. Start your response by thanking the committee chairperson and the committee members. Speak clearly, loudly, and make eye contact, especially with the persuadable decision makers. 5. Approach written and oral testimony differently. Hearing testimony is different from reading testimony. Written testimony allows for more detailed information. In contrast, oral testimony should be more concise, engaging, and dynamic. 6. Try not to read your testimony. When you are reading from a paper, you start to go monotone and lose eye contact. It doesn't look natural. Everyone gets nervous giving a testimony. If you need to, read your text and glance back up, especially for key points. Use the text as a reference for all the practice and preparation you did. An easy way to do this is to use your finger to keep your place in your text. 7. Be prepared and practice. You may get questions from people who don't agree with you, so it's important to understand and anticipate the opposing viewpoints. Be prepared for difficult questions and possible misinformation. You'll need to redirect the conversation back to your message. address the question or misinformation, and get back to your point without being dismissive. Practice your delivery with colleagues and have them ask you tough questions. For an added layer of preparation, you can share questions that you'd like to answer with friendly legislators in advance of your testimony. This allows you to extend your time and influence with your audience. 8. Handle emotional challenges with grace. Aim to be polite and composed, even when receiving negative questions or comments. Pause and take a breath. Stay engaged, but avoid becoming defensive. Start your response with a phrase like, "I understand," or "I respect that position," followed by a phrase such as, "Here's how I came to my position." Responding in this way allows you to respectfully acknowledge the opposition while also reinforcing your message. 9. Be intentional in your presentation. How you represent yourself and your issues affect how your message is received. Do your best to portray confidence and authenticity. Be aware of your body language. Eye contact, hand gestures, and facial expressions can help get your point across. Don't be afraid to let your own personal style shine through. Before we wrap up, here are a few bonus tips from the pros to make your testimony experience even smoother. Bring hard copies of your testimony to distribute to legislative staff and the media. Have any references or studies cited in your testimony close at hand, as you could be asked a question about a data source. Always have a copy of the bill related to your issues in case you are asked about a specific provision. Legislative hearings, especially at the state level, can go on for a long time. Be prepared with water and a snack. Remember to bring pen and paper. Taking notes on a tablet or phone is hard to do when you are at a table waiting to testify. Delivering effective testimony is an essential advocacy skill for moving your public health issue forward. You have a unique opportunity to highlight critical public health challenges and call attention to impactful solutions. This is your chance to leverage your expertise and influence key decision makers. These tips can guide your approach to providing testimony that will lead to lasting change.